Look at Parv and his big ass Yeti. That's how we should start it. Welcome to the Left Turn Cult. I'm Cooper Watson.
Yeti, woo!
I guess we're starting now. Well, yeah, welcome to the Left Turn Cult. Jacob Lewis.
Cody, your host with the most.
Jacob Powers.
Parv's taking a drink. He's not going to answer.
My name is Matthew Parvin, but don't call me Parv.
What do you want us to call you then?
So, Parvo.
Oh no.
That's what I've always called him. I call him the deadly dog disease.
Matthew Cameron Parvin.
That's not my middle name.
No, dude, it's Tyler.
There's only two people in here who knows Parv's middle name. Oh, you know it, Jacob? So then that makes three of us. I listen. Wait, let our other hosts introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm Tyler Reddick, and I wish my number 8 Cheddar's car would have gotten up to the first spot. We would have loved to have free chicken tenders come Monday night, but we'll have to come back out next Sunday and try again. See you in Vegas, guys.
Did someone say chicken tenders? Because I love me some chicken tenders.
Could you imagine though if he got first and we just pull up to Cheddar's and was like,
Hey, if he would have got if Tyler would have gotten first, I would have paid for us all to get chicken tenders.
But you got him for free.
Yeah.
Tyler Reddick needs
I still would have paid. I would have had the money.
Right now.
I had the money for at least a beer.
Shit, I would have had the money too.
Tyler Reddick needs to win a race, so I get chicken tenders from Cody.
Oh, speaking of money, real quick, can we acknowledge the
This is
Let's start with the Xfinity race.
let's start with the $5 we won each apiece.
Nope.
So the bet was if McDowell finished above the 18th position, that we would get paid $5 from Cody. If he fell below that, we would all owe Cody $5.
Now, Cody, while Play City finished, Cody?
Actually, Parv, you go ahead and tell me.
6th.
I think it was 7th.
I think it was 6th. I think he's actually right.
It was 6.
It was 6th. He finished 6th. He was.
That was a straight up. I want to know that Parv totally guessed that. But anyway, go ahead.
I want to point out that Michael McDowell has 106 points in the playoff standing right now. He is
fourth.
He is fourth with Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, and
Joey Logano.
Joey? Yeah,
Joey's third. Are we going to start the episode on this, or do you want to move into this conversation later into the episode?
I think we should move.
I just want to, later. But I just want to
do it later
because I genuinely do have a lot to say about it. That's not going to be necessarily like a fire starter between all these McDowell fanboys in here.
Well, so we races this week. What?
I was just going to ask why the trucks didn't run in Homestead. Is that not in their schedule? Like, why?
The trucks, they're always off. The Xfinity will be off a few. So example, when we go to Bristol on dirt, Xfinity's not running that weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the Xfinity and the Truck Series, they alternate here and there.
How many drivers share? Are there a lot of drivers in the Truck Series that are in the Xfinity? Because I don't think there are.
At a very minimal. I don't even think there's one.
I don't think there's one
season.
either.
I might be wrong.
Brett Moffatt.
Just every here and there. Yeah.
So we had 2 races this weekend. Xfinity Series race. I mean, let's go ahead and talk about it, boys.
It was a good race.
It was. It was better than the Cup Series.
It was the best race I ever saw in my life.
Oh.
Who won, Parv?
So like Myatt something. Matt, or like, I know it's like MY.
Okay, so
all right. Myatt Snyder, baby. RCR, baby.
Cooper was excited.
I was excited. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, he got.
See, I know things. I look at media.
What? It was off the caution. He had a good start. He didn't spin. Well, he did spin.
He spun the first.
The first caution,
yeah. And he had a second chance. He had a second chance at it.
He had a second chance and had a good launch and just maintained it.
Poor Noah Gragson. I think we need to talk about that. Cody, I want you to tell everybody that your thoughts on Noah Gragson now.
So, if you have kept up with the podcast, you would know that I am a staunch Noah Gragson person. Not big on him. I was always against him. I mean, he is a little hard-headed. He runs it way too hard when he shouldn't, and that's something I can definitely talk on here in a little bit. But Noah Gragson has won my heart over this season so far. I consider if I am going to watch the Xfinity Series full time, Noah Gragson's my dude.
So Noah Gragson is your Xfinity Series guy.
He
Just
is.
Noah?
Yep.
Like no one else? Like I mean, if Reddick's in there, of course, but like
Right. But
Reddick's
I
not
think
going to be running full time.
if I'm picking a full-time guy,
Mhm.
I'm going Noah, and then I'll always keep my eye on Cindric, no matter
Oh,
what. I love
100%.
Cindric to death, but
Cindric is
Noah's my
definitely
guy.
No, I mean he had a good car the entire race.
I don't hate Justin Haley either.
No. I honestly, any of those college racing guys except for the one, Dinger, Allmendinger. Listen, AJ Allmendinger. All right, he's had a pretty comeback career. I will give him that. You know, he lost his ride at Penske. Years and years went by. He came back with JTG Daughtery Racing, and then now he's found himself at college racing, getting him a full season in the Xfinity Series and a chance at a championship.
Yeah.
That being said, he has been a wrecking ball out there tonight. Just in the words of Mark Martin, just an absolute unit.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'm not a fan of his racing. I'll be honest with you. But yeah, I think Cindric is probably my dude. I think Cindric will go back to back. I think Cindric we saw it in Daytona. I mean, he raced really good with the Cup guys. He was up there majority of the race.
Maybe could have ended with a top 10
I think he would have.
had things not gone wrong there at the very end.
Yeah. I think Cindric's looking good. Mike Snyder though, got that first win.
Look damn good too.
He's consistent. I mean, he's a very consistent driver. You know, I have this one driver I always point to when I'm thinking of someone who's consistent but never wins, and I always think Eric Almirola. That is like just my first go-to.
Yeah, that is 100% correct.
Eric Almirola, baby.
I will say this: Jed Burton has not finished outside of the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually not finished outside of the top 5 yet. So I'm liking Jed Burton. And Jed Burton, if for everybody who's wanting to know, is Ward Burton's son. So I always was a kind of a big fan of Ward Burton. I enjoyed his atmosphere.
I think the Xfinity is setting up to have a really timeless season. I mean, you have the Burton cousins. You got Gragson, who is thirsty. I mean, super thirsty. You have Cindric, who is like the veteran of the entire field out there. I've really enjoyed the racing. Allgaier, hit or miss. I feel like Allgaier at any given point could pop off and win several races.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the one guy out there each week that I complain about and I fuss about more than anyone else is that 16 car.
The Allmendinger. Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw it at the road course, at the Daytona road course. He just, I mean, too aggressive. I mean, you have Cindric. He's a very young man. Allmendinger is an older guy. Cindric, I mean, he even said it. You know, I don't want to be racing that rough for a stage win. You know, I want a chance to be there at the end.
Right. And I mean, you're going to have a little bit of scooting and booting someone out of your way, you know, coming through that final chicane. But Allmendinger running Cindric down into the infield for a stage 1 win. And then it takes out Riley.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and speaking of, oh my God, worst. He's got some Blaney luck this year, man. He has been getting hammered.
Now, let me ask, because I am not 1000%. Is it Herbst or Herbst?
It's Herbst.
Okay, so the
it's
H.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, it is Riley Herbst. People have been giving him shit on social media, man. But honestly, I think this is his chance. I mean, that car was in the Final Four last year.
Yeah, and he's not a bad driver.
No. I mean, he's been doing good. Every time that he gets wrecked, he's contending. It's just he just keeps getting. I mean, we saw it at the Daytona road course. He was running third.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's trying to get his chance at a championship. And that 98 team is a champion team. I mean, in my opinion, they are a championship caliber team. It's just he keeps getting destroyed, man. I mean, Justin Allgaier, it was an obvious accident. And I mean, you saw Allgaier's tweet. And I mean, he obviously felt bad about taking out Riley,
right?
But it's just one of those things, man.
I feel like, and this is an issue that's plaguing all 3 series. You know, fun fact: we've done each race so far a podcast following each race, whether it's right after or days after, but we've not covered the lower series for some reason. And like we've watched them all, right? There's a few of us who have watched every single race that's happened so far this season. But we've not talked about them, but the racing has been like kind of boneheaded, right?
It
Like
has
just
been. It has been.
And I get, we're fresh off of the off season. We're kind of getting back into the swing of things. But I mean, specifically for Daytona, there wasn't an excuse because of how much practice there was. Right. And, everybody should have had the rust knocked off and had their arms and their brains oiled back up. The road course was just an absolute shit show across all three series. And then, I think that Miami was a lot calmer.
Road course.
What?
I said get rid of the Daytona road course, please.
I'm not ready to throw that out there yet. I think it might calm down the way the Roval has. But if we go back next year and the Daytona road course is the same way as it was this season, I think we do need to move on from it. But I do think that all three series, like there's just been a whole lot of boneheaded decisions so far.
It has been. And I mean, these guys are young. They got a lot of drive in them. And I mean, obviously last week we saw Ty Gibbs win, crazy win. I mean, I'll sit here and say it. He drove a hell of a race. Now you're seeing what the hell happened to the Joe Gibbs cars in the Xfinity Series? Harrison Burton, Ty Dillon. I mean, most of them were just.
And you're talking about last night, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can ask the same. What the hell happened to the Joe Gibbs cars tonight?
Yeah. Yes. I think as far as the Xfinity Series, can we talk about Brett Moffatt running for Our Motorsports and how good of a race he was running with no sponsors on the car whatsoever?
Yeah, but I feel like Moffat's kind of in the same boat as a lot of these other people that I just called out. You find yourself in a good spot and you just make a dumb move.
Mm-hmm.
So many people are racing aggressive in the moments to where they don't need to be aggressive, and then they're too passive in the moments where they need to be aggressive.
And that takes us to the wreck. The wreck between Noah and David Starr.
Yep. So I have a full opinion on this. If anybody wants to go before me here, or if you want me to go first, so you can kind of throw your opinions out after me.
Go for it.
So David Starr, smaller team. He was running good. And Noah just had one hell of a car. Noah might not have passed post-race inspection by the speed that he had. Tyler Reddick failed post-race inspection. I don't think he was cheating or anything, but that car was just ridiculously fast. I don't know if maybe there was an elevation there that might not have been suitable to NASCAR standards or what, but he was well faster than everyone else. 9-second lead. Now, here's a question I'm going to ask everybody. Does a lapped car need to roll over for the leaders? And think very hard before you answer, because everybody is out there racing. Does a lap car need to roll over for a leader?
Yes.
I honestly, there's only one exception in my case, and this is going to be weird because I am wearing a Ryan Newman hat tonight based on the Roush Fenway performance. Hell yeah. But if you're trying not to go a lap down, I think that is a suitable reason to not give up. If you know that maybe you can pull out, but if you're out there and you've been running 22nd and the leaders are coming and they're racing, yeah, you should. But here's the thing, where do they go? Cause David Starr did move out of the way. It's just he broke something and hit the wall. That was just as simple as that. I mean, I don't fault David for it.
Well, like they said too, when you're running at Homestead, you have like that pocket of air on the high side.
Yeah.
So you don't know if he might have got caught in it too. He busted something, then it just threw him into the wall because it was very apparent. I mean, who was it in the Cup Series that got caught in the wall for a second? Was it Truex? Truex got a little loose, but then he corrected it.
Anybody who runs the high line gets loose on that around that corner at some point. In the race, if you're running the high line consistently, at some point you're going to end up sideways.
Yeah. I mean, look at, well, I don't want to, we'll get in a chase later, but yeah. No, we'll keep cut. Yeah. Do Xfinity. Sorry.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Noah, I mean, even the announcer said it. You heard Kurt Busch and Eric Almirola and 2 + 2 = 4 say that.
Quote of the night, by the way.
Quote of the night.
Quote
Yeah.
of the night.
I was like, what the hell? Okay, he can do math. All right, cool. I think that, I mean, we heard him saying it. It's like he didn't want to give up the high lane. But it's, I mean, you got 9 seconds of a lead. Why not just dip and go around them?
Whether or not that this is a fabrication or the truth, I mean, nobody really knows. Noah said he was running half throttle for the last 20 laps. And if he's running half throttle, pulling that kind of lead, that's why I made that statement. I'm not sure that he would have passed like the post-race inspection had he won. Yeah. But running half throttle, still absolutely pulling away. He wasn't losing anything on anybody. He's pulling away. But there's been pictures that surfaced of David's tire. It wasn't flat. It wasn't flat at all. Now, after the crash, you know, there's a whole lot of damage to the tire. Did that happen before or after the crash? Nobody really knows. I do feel that David maybe was running a little too hot to be, you know, about to go a lap down. But I also think that Noah was running a little too hot to be a 9-second leader. He could have easily pulled back a little bit, passed David in the straightaway. But at the same time, I mean, the question ultimately is, does a lapped car or about soon to be lapped car, do they need to roll over for the leader? Personally, I don't think so. I think that unless you have 2 guys who are actually racing side by side for the lead, but if you just have a single leader pulling up on you, no, race them hard. Now, when it gets to the second place guy, I think you should let the second place guy go by. But if you're fighting for your spot on the track, fight for it with the leader. Once the leader clears you, that's when you need to go down, you know, slow it down when the leaders are passing you by. I do think NASCAR should be a little bit more strict about the black flag in those situations. Mm-hmm. But I do think that David Starr and Noah both were running a little too hard there, but you can never fault a leader for running too hard.
Oh, not at all. I mean, in my opinion, it was just a racing incident and it happened. You saw the aggression with Noah after the race when he said
that's what won me over on him too, man.
Yeah, these, you know, you got these dipshits out there running everything, because there are a lot of people out there that are running like dipshits. I mean, they won't get out of the way. There's no give and take. You know, but I agree with you. I don't think that you should have to get over. I think it's completely judged. Now, I do believe this. I believe that if you run somebody hard and you don't get out of the way, then that gives the driver that was trying to pass you every reason to race you
and move you if they have
to.
Yeah,
move you. Yep. I mean that right there is exactly how I feel about it. But all in all, sucked for Noah. I hated it. I'm not a Noah fan at all. I mean, he has won me over this year. I will say he has grown on me, but I will say 100% that Noah, I felt bad for him. He was really hungry for that win. That's 2 years in a row that he'd been screwed out of it.
Yep. And like I said, every Xfinity race that I'd watched before this season, somehow Noah was always in a wreck that I saw that it was his fault. And most of the time it is. He races way too hard. You know the driver that I compare Noah to the most?
Who's that?
The number 9 car in the Cup Series. I think that they are almost the identical driver. They wrecked themselves out. And I think Chase has matured a lot. I think we saw it last season, especially. But I think that Noah Gragson is a younger version, which is weird to say, but a younger version of Chase, who is still as hungry and as aggressive as Chase was in his first 2 or 3 Cup Series seasons.
Hold up a second. You didn't compare Noah Gragson to Kyle Busch?
No, not at all. Because Noah Gragson usually runs up front.
Oh shit! Let's talk about Mike Snyder, boys. Got that.
Yeah, give the winner respect.
Yeah.
All right, I unmuted myself for that.
I mean, he's been out there for a while. We've seen Mike. He's running underfunded equipment. He's been out there for a long time. I'm always happy to see somebody out there that's been putting in the work go out there and get their first trophy. And he
It's
did.
a lot of first timers this season already.
It
Michael
is.
A lot of
McDowell.
first timers.
Michael, yeah, I mean, true.
I wasn't just pointing at him. I was pointing, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. He's
Trying not to get Cody heated.
Yeah, Cody's getting heated.
That's fine. Hey, we're getting to the Cup Series soon enough.
Hey,
Don't you
Myatt
worry.
Snyder, you looked good.
Hell of a
Props to
run.
you.
Hell of a
Hell of
run.
a run.
Because he held
Hell of a
off.
run.
He held off who I genuinely do deem like a king of that track. And I mean, he outran Tyler at the end of the race, and that's just bottom line.
100%. I do think Mike's going to get another win this season. I think that his winning streak is not over.
I agree. He's been there. He's been there the last 2 weeks. It's not like this was like, whoa, who's that guy? I mean, he's ran consistent.
I mean, and talking about championship caliber teams, that 2 car has won a championship.
RCR is coming back. RCR is coming back fast.
Yeah, they are back.
I gotta ask you, Cody, are you an RCR guy? Would you consider them up there? I mean, obviously Penske, but like,
Can we discuss this later? We're getting there. We're getting to the Cup.
Okay. I'll ask that question again. Just remind me, because
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
will.
compare it
I
with
will.
someone. I'll ask. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the Xfinity Series go, Mike's looking good. Jed Burton's looking good. Justin Haley's looking good. Cindric, of course. Riley Herbst is looking good when he doesn't get slammed into the wall or put into the grass.
When Riley wrecks himself out, then I'll say something about him being a klutz.
100%. But he is not so far. He has not. And I pulled for that car all season last year when Briscoe was in. But might look good. I mean, he learned from his mistake. He didn't spin the tires a second time.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The first time spun the tire, and then he got
Yeah.
that extra caution, and then he got the good launch. And the
That
second
shows a
was-
winner. The first time he made a mistake. He got a second chance and he corrected on it immediately.
And it wasn't a bad mistake. I mean, he dropped to what, 4th, and then built right
Yeah.
back up. So like, it didn't hurt him too much.
Right. Now, had it stayed green, though, it would have costed him the win.
Oh, 100%.
So
I guess-
what does the winner do? They immediately learn from their mistakes, correct it, they win.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, like I said, he won it fair and square. I mean, I wouldn't say that he was up there dominating, but he was up there in the top 5, top 10 all day long. And I mean, he had himself there when it counted. That being said, let's move to the Cup Series.
All right. So
I don't know what is that.
yeah, I don't know.
It says, and I quote, "What Blaney's sister is going to get tonight." And it is a fast food restaurant called Byron's Hot Dog.
So,
For, Cooper, I don't know if you know this, but William Byron is dating Ryan Blaney's sister.
Oh,
And
So-
what's funny about that is I heard this from the grapevine, but he didn't tell Ryan Blaney that was going on.
Yeah, he found out right before driver's meeting.
Yep, he found out. He's like, huh? Yeah.
So-
Aaron Blaney, I think's her name.
I did the math, and 2 + 2 does actually equal 4. I had to do some serious research.
Thank you for
on it.
working on that. Is that why you were silent that whole segment?
Yeah, I did.
Not because you didn't watch the race.
Yeah, I did.
fuck! He didn't
X-
watch this race. He didn't watch
Yeah,
the cover.
I know.
Don't matter.
What are you
I
up to
did-
now, Par? 4 races?
See, I did X equals negative B plus or minus square B square minus 4C all over 2, and it does indeed equal 4. You're welcome.
Thank you for that, Par. Thank you for that. That was our analysis guy.
So, Cup Series. We just got done. We just got done watching it.
Cup Series. We started out with some breaking news that kind of hurt, I guess, a couple of our bets with Denny Hamlin have to start in the back because that hurt me as soon as it started.
So what happened? Was it his air conditioning hose?
I don't know. They just walked by and they're like, "Fuck."
Yeah. So they replaced his AC hose. Apparently, his air conditioner wasn't running in his car. So they replaced that in between, loading off the truck, pre-race inspect or the pre-inspection, and it was an unapproved change. So he fell for that. I mean, nothing more. Like he passed the pre-race other than that, and he passed the post-race.
Okay. So, I mean, I can understand that.
But he looked damn good tonight still. I mean, have to start in the back. He still looked pretty damn good.
He made his way back up. Yeah.
It fucking hurt. The minute the race.
Twice.
Yeah, twice.
Look-
What he finished 11th, didn't he?
Something like that.
So he was in top 15.
Yeah.
What the fuck has happened to Kyle Busch? Like,
Can I talk first, please?
I mean,
You
go
didn't watch
for
the
it.
race.
Wait, he watched the first stage. So give us the first stage analysis.
Well, since we're on the topic of Kyle Busch, I mean, our good buddy from last week, our guest Dalton, I was following his live tweets throughout the whole entire thing, and the first stage was really good. I mean, Brett Keselowski didn't win, which is a good thing, but
See, Parv, you have to throw in some shit like that and fire us up, okay? But go ahead.
No,
You
but
asked for it. You literally asking for it. Brad finished a lot better than fucking Kyle Busch did.
No, shut up. Let me get what I'm about to say here.
Shut up, fuck you.
You told me to stand up for myself, you bitch. So
Not
here
for
I
me,
am.
bitch.
Yeah, you got to know your role still.
What I'm trying to say here is Kyle Busch this season is the fourth best Joe Gibbs car out there. You heard it here from me that I am admitting it. I mean, here's the reason behind it. I mean, Denny Hamlin is first in points.
Now, are you willing to say that he's not only the fourth best car, but also the fourth best driver too?
He's the fifth best Toyota driver out there for the Cup Series.
And I stand corrected. I was wrong on Brad Keselowski finishing better. He finished 16th.
So, but what I'm saying here is, Christopher Bell has a win, and he has been running incredibly well.
That's because he has Adam Stevens.
Probably the best 20 we've seen since, Joey Logano was in the 20 car. And then we have Martin Truex Jr., he's up and down at times. Like, he can usually run in the top 10 most of the races. So good on him for that. But, sometimes he might crash and lose like Kyle Busch does. And then he had, like I said, Denny Hamlin, who's first in points. Kyle Busch has had a lot of flaws, and it sucks to say that because it just feels like a repeat of 2020. And I'm saying that as a Kyle Busch fan, that it hurts to say that.
So, are you a Bell believer now? And that's something I do want to talk about, like leading from Parv's answer. Are you a Bell believer? I mean, so you just said that you think Bell has a win. That's fine. But also, I consider super speedways and road courses always to be a Mickey Mouse win.
So I think.
So hold on. Let me get the question out there, Kyle Busch fan. Bell has one win, right?
Yes.
At a road course. Yes. Against a Joey Logano with 0 breaks. Okay. And I'm not knocking Chris Bell. I mean, a win's a win. You deserve it. But I have heard so many people today, specifically, even in the pre-race, oh, Chris Bell's on a roll now. Chris Bell. On up until last week, Chris Bell's average finish is probably 27th. So are you already that far in on Bell to where you're putting him above Kyle Busch?
No, I think that we were talking overall. I was watching the pre-race with Fox with Jimmy McMurray, and there was the segment hit the gas or pump the brakes, and he was one of the questions that was brought up was, will Christopher Bell win 3 or more races this year? And I was that legit the first thing that came out that is way too early to call out because. Like you said, he did win a road course. He did it in fair fashion by, obviously passing him. There's going to have to be. I do stand by my point that it's probably one of the best looking 20 cars we've seen in a long time, though, because how consistent he's been. But I'm not full on yes, Christopher Bell. Oh my gosh, he's going to go major places after one race cause. If I do that, then that's he just underperforms, and I'm just well.
What was Jamie Mack's answer to that question?
Hit the gas.
So he thinks he'll win 3 or more? All right,
yes.
So here's where I throw my catchphrase in there. That's a bad fucking take.
And is it Larry McReynolds or Terry McReynolds?
Larry
Mack. Car.
What
Larry
the
fucking Mack.
Fuck off. Oh well.
Harry
but-
McReynolds. My girlfriend calls him Mickey Rooney. I don't know who the fuck that is.
You don't know who Mickey Rooney is, the actor?
No clue. She's like, he looks just like Mickey Rooney. Can we
he
talk
had
about
more-
when Jeff Gordon called him Lex Luthor tonight? And there was like a pause, and Larry McReynolds comes back and goes, "Who the hell is Lex Luthor?"
Clint's like, you need to get out of the computer sometime and find yourself in a theater.
Mickey Rooney has Mickey Rooney has had more wives than Henry VIII has had. He's had like 12 wives.
It's like 13.
He does kind of look like Mickey Rooney, though, low key.
No, but yeah,
Larry always says that. But
Larry said pump the brakes on that. By the way, sorry. You can
that's
continue.
Larry has a brain. I mean,
Yeah,
Larry,
that's what we discovered there.
Yeah, Larry has a brain. I mean, we can't ignore that Adam Stevens is gone. That is a crew chief that has won Kyle Busch 2 championships.
Yes.
Not 1, 2.
But 2. All right. He is now with Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell, this is his 2nd year in. He's already found success. Now, here's what I think happened with the Kyle Busch scenario. And this is just what I'm going to say. We all know Kyle Busch's personality. Okay?
Now, are you talking like why Kyle's in the state he's in or tonight?
Both.
Okay.
Both. If you in depth with Graham Bensinger, which I think is his name. I never can fucking say it right, but that's what I think his name is. Kyle Busch said that he wanted to make a bunch of changes. Adam Stevens said no. Now, as a driver, you have to have that trust with your crew chief. That is just 100%. You have to have that trust with your crew chief. Now, Kyle Busch argued with him, and we all probably know how that went. It was probably, it's my way or the highway here. And Adam Stevens said, I think I'll just go in a different direction. And we're seeing Christopher Bell having more success, really, than Kyle Busch. And why I'm saying that is, I think Kyle Busch's season last year was just a fluke. Every driver's got one. And I think it got to him. I really do. But I think the crew chief change was a bad idea. I think that was a terrible idea. I think Kyle Busch has put himself in that situation, and he should have stuck with Adam Stevens. Now, if he would have stuck with Adam Stevens, I think this year they could have come back to the drawing board. Look, that could have been Kyle Busch's victory lane at the road course.
I you know what? I agree with that, Jacob.
Holy shit. What?
Listen.
Breaking news. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
No. I don't you can't just fire your crew chief after. I think it's a bad take if you fire your crew chief after.
Well, he didn't fire him. He just left.
Yeah, if after one season, and plus the season was had many faults of
How did 2019 end?
I mean, 2019 ended him with winning the championship with Adam Stevens.
Right.
But
2020, he still got to win.
Yeah,
He didn't
but I
get
mean,
winless.
how do you come from a championship season and then your crew chief, you immediately pass off all blame onto your crew chief?
I think the things that need to be taken into account of what's been happening was obviously we had the pandemic that happened, you had the cancellation of practices and qualifying. So and that was in most driver systems, and that's how they got stuff prepared. And that's probably how Kyle Busch got most of his got most of his steam going. And I think what hindered him was there's that little span of there was no races. There was just the iRacing stuff. When they got back, there was probably a little already tension between them. And I think 2020 was a really bad time to do that because of that. I think maybe you might see an exception if it was had the 2019 season, how it was a regular season with the qualifying, all that stuff. That might have been an exception, but you can't. I don't think you can do after one season, maybe 2. Like 2 underperforming seasons cause of that, maybe, but one season with many falls like the pandemic, I think that's a little bit too much.
Well, I mean, and also, let's think of this. I mean, they've had, excuse me, they've had success twice. True success. There's no more bigger success than holding that championship trophy, right? They've had success twice. And whatever it was, it made Adam Stevens not want to come back. I mean, it wasn't like Kyle Busch said. Kyle Busch said he quit on me. Why'd he quit on him? I mean, is it because of Kyle Busch's attitude in the in-car radio? Because we heard it tonight. Kyle Busch was cussing out his crew chief tonight.
Right, and I don't think anybody wants to set up on that box and be belittled by somebody who's clearly, underperforming. I'm going to pause my thought. Coop, you raised your hand a second ago to throw in a point after Jamie McMurray's bad take.
No, I'm doing two. I'm doing a count. You said one bad take, then Park said
you're
that's a
counting
bad
it.
take, so I'm
Okay.
doing it.
Okay.
We're at two number
okay.
now, so I'm just gonna keep throwing fingers up each time I hear it.
I thought you were wanting to butt in there.
No. Keep going.
So with Kyle Busch's soon to be radioactive segment, he radios in and he says, and I quote, "We fucking suck." And he is like, "What's the 19 doing that we're not?" And he's whining over the radio. And they say, "We have the same setup." And his spotter's telling him what Truex is doing different than him. And it's Truex was hitting the gas. And that's not a joke. That's not like a jab or anything like that. But Truex was going into the corners harder than what Kyle was. You go into the corners easy, you're going to lose speed on entry, and you're not going to have enough by the time you get around to exit to do anything. So,
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Wasn't it Boyer that even said, he was like, Kyle's been bitching about his car all night, but then he was like, he's up here in 11. I don't understand why he's doing all this bitching and he's still up here racing. I mean, he's still contending.
I'm going to sit here and say it. I think we might be seeing the end of Kyle Busch.
I don't think it's the end of Kyle Busch necessarily as much as it's the end of Busch in the 18 car. I think this is Busch. I'm not sure his contract, but I would say that this will probably be, if this is his contract year, this will be Busch's last year in that M&M's car, guaranteed.
Okay, where does he go?
I mean,
dude, that's the bad thing.
That's the thing. Where does he go?
Look at Kyle's reputation. Somebody's going to take him.
Oh yeah, I mean, even if it would be like a front row kind of thing, but Kyle's ego, love him or hate him, Kyle's ego is too big to race for a smaller team. Kyle Busch would send himself into bankruptcy just to fund his own team to run in the cups. That's wouldn't
what
race.
It would sound like. Yeah, because I mean, he's not going to go to Penske and get fucking belittled there. Like, he's not going to go to Hendrick. He's not going to go to RCR. He's not going to go front row. Nothing like that. No one wants to listen to him just be like, "We fucking suck," and they're like,
Roger
don't.
Penske. Roger Penske of all people is not going to kiss anyone's ass to be in that car.
No, and like, he doesn't need to hear they suck because they don't fucking suck. I mean, none of those teams are going to want to hear "we fucking suck" because they don't fucking suck. Not even JGR sucks. JGR's not a bad team whatsoever.
I mean, it's all about keeping a bad attitude or a good attitude. Sorry. I mean, Kyle Busch has got to understand that you can't start bitching because like it or not, the driver has to be a leader. The crew chief can only do so much. The pit crew can only do so much. The people in the shop can only do so much. There's only so much they can do. That's the moment where a driver has to say, "Hey, listen, this isn't working. We're going to have to find something else. We're going to have to make an adjustment. Somewhere, we're going to have to find something else. Pull it together. Let's think of something. I'll give you my data, what I have going on here in the car, and we'll let it be." But he didn't. He says, and I quote, "We fucking suck." He will never get better unless his attitude. And this is what my dad's always said. My dad actually believes, this is actual true. And this is not me talking shit, Parv, so I don't want you to come after me or my father. But my dad has always said, I don't think Kyle Busch is that good of a driver because his attitude gets in the way.
I think something to really focus on with Kyle Busch, and I mean, I think what's hurt him the most is he needs a car that is absolutely suited and tailored to him.
Perfect.
Practice.
He wants a
practice.
Practice. I think that's really hurt him. I really do. But like I said, man, he's going to have to find something else better. And I'm nowhere near a Kyle Busch fan. If you've listened to this show, you know that I do not like Kyle Busch 110%. But that being said, We talked about it last episode. When Kyle Busch leaves, we were all going to say, damn, it was cool when he was out there because you had somebody to root against. Because every time Kyle Busch gets in the lead, I'm like, son of a bitch. I mean, truthfully. Now, Kyle Busch is digging his own grave. He's got to find
getting
something.
annoying. This week especially. Last week I was like pretty neutral on Kyle, and it wasn't because we had Dalton. And Parv knows, of course, I'll tear into him at any time over Kyle Busch. But I've tried to be pretty neutral on Kyle so far this season. But tonight really annoyed me to the point of just sending me over the edge because I can name 20 other guys out there who have a better reason to complain than Kyle Busch does. I mean,
100%.
why is Ryan Newman or Chris Buescher, why are they not constantly crying in the car? I mean,
Corey
Daniel
LaJoy.
Suarez, Corey LaJoy.
Corey LaJoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for the last
Stacking
5 or
pennies,
6
baby.
years. Yeah. For the last 5 or 6 years, Austin Dillon. Why is Tyler Reddick not complaining? Why is Cole Custer or Eric Almirola? Why are they not complaining? Why isn't Ross Chastain screaming and yelling over the radio? Why isn't Ryan Blaney?
Ryan Blaney, yes.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yes.
can name so many guys out there that have a worse predicament than Kyle Busch, but yet Kyle Busch is choosing to be immature and point fingers. When Kyle Busch on the track, and it was proven tonight, same setup as Martin Truex Jr., just Martin Truex was out driving him, and he was blaming his team.
And don't get me wrong, there's going to be situations where a driver goes off in the car. You're going to let the temper get the best of you. That's going to happen. That's just
Busch.
Kurt Busch.
But
And
Kurt
you know
Busch
what?
looks damn good right now.
Kurt Busch is running better because he's figured that out. He's matured and figured it out that, hey, if I sit here and bitch, you can look at Kurt Busch right now and you can see that he is not the guy that's going to come on the radio and say, we fucking suck. He's going to be the guy that comes on, hey, we got to figure something out because this is not working. Whatever it is not working.
You see the incidents with his lug. He was like, something's wrong. I don't like this tire. And they're like, come in, buddy. And he still pulled. I mean, what? Top 15, top 10
something
tonight?
like that.
Yeah, he came back around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he had to pit early. It wasn't a bad strategy. Like he was like, fuck, I got to fix this. But still, like that was a
and
big
nobody's
issue.
happy about that. Like having to come in due to a loose lug.
He finished
Eighth.
eighth.
Okay.
So I mean,
He came back eighth.
positivity can ultimately only get you so far due to reality.
This is the first time in a while Kurt Busch has finally been better than Kyle on the track.
And it's because of attitude.
Yeah,
I truly
mean,
believe.
I like Kyle Busch. I mean, he has the most infamous attitude in NASCAR history, probably. I mean, like, no doubt about, like, we're going to get, like, 50 years from now, unless some guy comes out of the blue and is a bigger, like, douchebag to people and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. The minute Kyle's gone, we're gonna be like, damn, because you're not getting that back.
No.
I mean, it'll have to be. It's a damn rare.
Like, I mean,
yeah.
To me, I think for the sport, yes, like the way he acts is a bad thing, but I think it's also, it's good for the sport because there needs to be that like totally big, like, douchebag that's on the field doing this every week.
Because he still draws. People are still interested in him.
It's good
It
for the sport, but it's bad for him.
Yes.
It's a poison. It's a poison. It's a double-ended shotgun.
So
you
like,
pull the trigger on one end and get blown in the face in the other.
Because ratings are poor. I mean, like, unless it's Skyrock's, but like when he leaves, like people will be like, wait, where's this bigger heat at? I don't think it'll be like a huge decline in ratings, but I think they'll be like, maybe like a slight decline for a little while, and then probably pick back up. But like,
Well, see, people want a winner who's an asshole. People don't want a guy finishing 30th and like crying every single week. I mean, if he keeps up this attitude, nobody's really gonna care all that much as far as like, man, I miss Kyle Busch's attitude. People like Kyle Busch when he gets out of the car after winning and wipes his eyes, the tears for the fans crying. But right now, all he's doing is wiping up his own tears in the driver's seat.
I wrote Martin Truex Jr. in the same boat.
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind to me that Kyle Busch will be a first ballot, like once he's eligible, because the things he's done, and there's gonna be his speech he's probably gonna bring up his attitude on the sport and everything. There's gonna be a lot of factors of what's going to happen when he's gone, because I know we talked about it last week, or it's kind of funny that we're talking about it again this week, but who's the next? Who would be
Joey
I mean, there's-
Logano. I mean, Kyle, in this current generation, if Kyle were to retire tomorrow, Kyle's immediately replaced with Joey Logano.
Oh, 100%.
And I mean, that's all there is to it. But I'm not attacking.
3. I think
Kyle's-
that's a bad take.
Did I say it there?
No, I'm saying it. That's 3.
You don't think so?
Joey's not the most likable, but he's not going to be on that hatred level of what Kyle Busch is.
Honestly, I think Joey Logano is more hated at the track than Kyle is right now.
But he's
because
not one of those
people-
ones that's like.
People
Maybe to
are
the
hating
fans-
Kyle.
To the
Right.
fans, yeah, but like he's not one of the ones that's going to get
There's-
out and do the crying and do the.
No.
there's two- there's
Yeah,
two different
okay,
there's
okay.
two different types of hate. There's like two different types. Like there's the Kyle Busch hate because how he acts on the field. There's Joey Logano. There's the Joey Logano hate because of how he performs on the track typically.
I don't agree. I 100% don't agree with that. Kyle Busch performs just as aggressive.
If not more aggressive on a offensive standpoint, Joey is aggressive on defense.
Yeah.
Joey's going to block no matter which line you're coming from. And Joey will scoot you out of the way, but Kyle Busch will, I mean, look at Hornaday Jr. Like Kyle Busch will just take your ass out because he's having a bad time. And I'm not attacking Kyle's skill or his legacy that he's laid out, Parv. I'm talking about Kyle Busch in 2021 being an absolute little bitch. That's what
And
I'm talking about.
Martin Truex Jr. I got to throw this out there. Martin Truex Jr. during the race pitted right in front of Chris Buescher. Now, we all come on and we said that was a bitch move. He passed them, stopped, slowed down in front of them, and then cut left.
Yep.
If anybody would have done that to Martin Truex Jr., you would have heard him bitching from the time that happened to the time he come in the pit road, and probably for the remainder of the race.
And I love Martin Truex. I want that to be. I love Martin Truex. I really do. But it's something about being in a JGR car. Kind of. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the way TRD babies them or whatever. But there's an automatic like diva factor when you're with TRD.
I'll put this with MTJ. I liked him in the early Furniture Row days, but when he got into a Toyota and he started winning and got competitive, there was just this asshole factor that came with him, and that's when I was turned off. I was like, no, can't do it. Can't support him. And I mean, tonight we saw him bitching a little bit too. He was on the radio bitching about Denny Hamlin.
Yeah, racing. He's
racing you. He's your teammate, but that's a stage win. He ain't supposed to give you any room, And Denny said, hey, man, I didn't mean to hit him, but I had to do it. It was a racing incident. So I wrote Martin Truex Jr., and I wrote the same way. We have seen MTJ. That being said, he has been better than Kyle Busch, but we have seen MTJ not be as good since Cole Pern left. Cole Pern left, and he has had the same attitude in races. You see him in an interview, I want to say probably 85% of the time he's bitching about something that happened, lap car, something with the car, couldn't catch him.
All I could say, and then we need to move on from this topic because we've gotten caught on Kyle Busch way too long, especially following last week.
Yeah.
If I'm a crewmate and I hear you come over the radio telling me that I fucking suck, when it's time for you to pit, you ain't getting much out of me. That's all I'm saying. You ain't getting much out of me.
No.
And
you talk to me like that? No, fuck
yeah,
that. I'm not
it's just I do not disrespect Kyle Busch's legacy. I acknowledge him as a two-time champion. He's a hell of a racer, one of the most skilled drivers out there at any given point. But his salty, shitty attitude is what is putting him in the position he's in.
Yeah, and it will continue. I genuinely think, I'm going to rephrase my statement from earlier. If he does not change, if he does not become a leader of that team, this is the demise of the Kyle Busch in the 18 car that we all know. That being said, Homestead. What else?
Stage 2.
Stage 2.
Wait. Chris Buescher.
Yeah. Well, that is true. Listen, I have been a Roush boy since the day I was born. Now, when I say that, I've had to gravitate to people that are Cooper sleeping. I had to gravitate towards other people that were competitive because, be honest with you, Cody can tell you this from watching Bubba at RPM. It's not fun watching your guy run 25th every week.
No, it sucks.
It sucks ass. It sucks terrible. And man, when Carl left, that was the demise of Roush Fenway. And it's just like, when Stenhouse won those couple of races at the super speedways, I've never been a big Stenhouse fan, but I was jumping up and down because I'm like, that's a win for Jack Roush. Jack Roush has always been my team personally. So to see the 17 car up there leading the day and competitive, that gives me hope that Jack Roush Fenway is back. And it wasn't just him, it was Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman ran top 10 most of the night. So I am genuinely have hope now that Roush Fenway can come back. I really do. I think Chris Buescher proved something tonight. Even if it was for the first half of the race, guess what? Not every race switches temperatures like that. That's one race that we go from daytime to nighttime. Track cools off. There's going to be a race if Chris Buescher can come that strong at the beginning, he can stay in it. And that right there gives me hope. And we heard the commentators talking about it. There's been a lot of personnel changes at Roush Fenway. A lot of people are gone because they know they have to make a change. They got sponsors to please, Ford's behind them. I have hope. I really do.
It was cool to see. The only hatred for Buescher comes from NASCAR Heat 5 for me. It wasn't anything bad. It was cool to see him up there, but of course, I was just, dozing off because of the hatred for the game. But still, it was cool. I do agree with Jacob. It was cool to see him and Newman up there. Newman placed, in that stage, 8 or 9?
Let's look at Roush Fenway in the early 2000s. They had 4 of they were the dominant team of Ford.
Oh, yeah. What?
Yeah.
It was Mark Martin. It was Matt Kenseth, Greg Biffle, and Carl Edwards at one point, and then Mark Martin got replaced by David Reagan.
Yeah.
But I mean, solid squad. And when I ventured into NASCAR on my own, when I found my true genuine interest and love for the sport, Carl was the first guy I gravitated to.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a team that used to have 5 cars before the 4-car rule, and now they got 2. They have no Xfinity Series program, which is not like Roush Fenway. It's weird watching an Xfinity Series race and not seeing a Roush Fenway car out there. It's just I was like a kid on crack cocaine.
It was a blast from the past seeing Roush run well. It really was, because we haven't seen it in years. Years. And I said tonight, if a Roush car was up front and Blaney was up there, I told Cody this, I'd probably pull for Roush just to get them back to competitive. Now, I'm not hating on Blaney, but it was neat. RCR, they were running good tonight.
I was clinched the fuck up there for a little bit when it was Busch, Reddick, and Dillon. They were all in that 9, 10, 11, 12, all those cars. I was so clinched because I was like, Kyle's going to fucking do something. And I was like, and then he just kind of eased back. Everything was good.
Reddick ran like shit for the first half of the race.
Reddick ran like ass for the first half.
That was maybe that they were saving the car for the nighttime. Because I mean, even then he was still running like absolute dog shit.
Well, Dillon wasn't running too well tonight. I mean, he did in the second stage, but second and third, but the first stage.
But speaking of, I mean, if you would have watched this race 2 years ago, hell, even a year ago, and saw Austin Dillon up there,
you would have been like, "What the fuck?" Yeah,
you wouldn't have been. Yeah, you would have been like, "Whoa, oh, damn, he's running good."
Yeah,
I mean, that's just dead serious. So I mean, we're seeing RCR come back, and that brings us to the question that we asked earlier, Cody.
All right, Cody.
Yeah.
Are you an RCR guy? Are you a Hendrick guy? Because of Chase building up? Are you? I know you're 2311 through and through, but Penske, what? Where do you place RCR?
I would like to make my formal announcement tonight. I'm taking my talents to RCR Racing.
Oh shit!
So place them.
Place the 3. Are you replacing Bubba?
Wait, place the 3. What? Penske 23 and RCR.
Well, I guess place the 4. Place the 4.
Okay, so I'll get 4 Hendrick,
and then I want the 3 drivers. I want you to place those. Yeah.
4 is Hendrick.
Okay.
3, I'll go Penske. 2, 2311.
Damn.
1 RCR.
So is Reddick your guy now? Do you think Reddick?
I'm taking my talents over to the 8 Cheddar's Cat Mobile.
So what? Your Reddick, Dillon, Snyder?
What as far as RCR guys top 3?
As far as the team, yeah.
Then yeah, that would definitely be my, because I mean through and through I'm a Cup guy. Reddick is my new favorite driver overall.
Okay, cool.
Well,
Reddick,
I like that.
Reddick's my number 1.
Let me ask
Like
this: is it because Bubba has not been performing? Is it like put some disappointment into you?
Yeah. And let me I'll always support Bubba. Bubba is, by far, I guess it wouldn't even be fair to say that Tyler's just my solid number one. I would not pick in between him and Bubba as to who's my favorite. I loved Bubba Wallace before any fire was ignited by him. Jacob can tell you this. Like, I've been a Bubba guy for a long time. I love Bubba. I love his personality. I love his attitude. But yeah, there is a lot of disappointment. And let me tell you why. Regardless, new team or not, Bubba cannot finish worse than he did with RPM in the 43 car. There's no excuse.
We talked about it. If he does, MJ is going to kick his ass right to the curb.
Right. There's no way that Bubba can perform worse than he did with Richard Petty. And like I said, new team or not, there is no excuse for it. I know they're trying to figure their stuff out, but at the end of the day, Bubba has a better car today than he did at this track last year. And Bubba was pretty consistently in the top 15 last season, running most of the race, but Bubba has underperformed. And I think you have to give a little bit of slack for it being a new team. But Bubba's just not racing well. He's not driving well.
So I have to ask. I was holding with the four fingers.
Yeah.
Is my take I gave a couple weeks ago still a terrible fucking take?
That Bubba doesn't win?
Bubba does not win, and we three believe that Michael McDowell has more of a contention to get a championship than Bubba does having a win.
I still stick by what I said. I still think that's a bad fucking take.
So
Michael McDowell's got 3 top 10s.
That's
Michael
fine.
McDowell
Right.
yes.
But McDowell is with a more established team. I mean, regardless. And I mean, they are. Front Row has been around for how many years now? I mean, they are an established team. They're running around that shop like everybody knows their place. They know what they're doing. At 2311, they're still figuring stuff out. And like I said, that's something to cut a little bit of slack for. But if by mid-season Bubba hasn't shown improvement, or the team, I don't even want to throw all the blame on Bubba himself. I mean, if Bubba is just genuinely getting shitty cars, then that's on ownership there. But I think the media hyped Bubba up way too much. Of course, I came in full throttle. I still think Bubba is going to end the season with more than one win, for sure.
So what race do you give him by? Like, do you give him by the All-Star?
No. I'd say the second trip to Daytona. Like, we better see something by then, because that gives a full rotation through the tracks.
I mean, we saw it tonight. It was not pretty.
No.
It was not pretty.
No, he barely moved out of 20th. 20th was where he averagely ran.
Like Michael Jordan and probably Denny Hamlin had a talk with him after the race too.
Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, it's a new team.
Has Bubba ran a different car in any of the races, or has it been that same
DoorDash
car? It's been that same DoorDash car. I don't.
Yeah, but it's always a different wrap. I'm sure the car that he ran. I mean, you always have a road course car, you have a super speedway car, and then you have your intermediate cars, because a road course car has to be different because
that's why they told Bell not to do the burnout. Yeah, they were like, we got to save that car, buddy. Don't do a burnout.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Super speedway cars are always their own cars. And then you have intermediate cars. So Bubba's gotten the full rotation through all 3 of his cars. So, next time that we go to an intermediate, he better run better. And, there's more intermediates in the series than any other track. Or any other track. So I expect and hope that Bubba performs better next week, the week after. And like I said, the first 2 races of the year, those are almost like exhibition races, right? I mean, you have a super speedway followed by a road course. Like, those are like the Mickey Mouse tracks. You're going to have some off the wall winner. The guys who run 40th every single week are running up front at those tracks. But this was Bubba's first real test. And I would say that he did fail the test.
Man, I agree. I mean, all in all, he was the worst performing Toyota that was out there. I mean, that's just what it is. He's got to do something. He can't, like you said, he can't come and finish 20th and finish the same place as he was finished for RPM. He's going to have to do something. And I mean, this might be an awakening. He might come back to Las Vegas next week and do pretty good. But I don't know, man. Blaney's bad luck continues.
DiBenedetto's bad luck continues.
Yep.
Justice for Matt.
Just Jesus Christ. I don't know what the hell they can do. And this qualifying setup that they got, or they're not qualifying, they're always going to start in the fucking back. Like there's nothing that they can do. They can't. They're doing all they can, which is why I hate this shit. Why aren't we qualifying? I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, just the bad luck continues. And I mean, I'm not going to get on here and bitch about Eric going up. I was pretty pissed when it happened, but it was obviously just a mistake. It just happened. I do think Eric needs to be more aware when somebody's on your fucking quarter panel, but I'm not going to get on there and bitch. Eric's usually, as far as people putting the bumper to somebody or intentionally going up and being too aggressive, I'm not going to put Eric Almirola in that.
That's the last guy you ever hear
yeah.
causing a crash.
Yeah, I just, it made me mad when it happened, but I don't fault him for it. It was just some shit that happened. We saw Reddick run good at the end. We did not get free chicken tenders.
What about Cole Custer tonight, too?
Cole Custer was coming alive.
Do y'all know where Cole Custer finished?
Top 10, right?
25th or 22nd, one of the two.
Damn, was it really?
Yeah.
I thought
Wait,
it was
what?
7th. Fuck.
He cut a tire down on the final lap.
Oh shit! I didn't see that.
Yep.
Well, all in all, he was still running.
I mean, he
top
ran
10.
a hell of a race,
Yeah,
but
he did.
like that finish, that hurts him in points as hard as he ran all day.
Not
Yeah.
sure what happened to Briscoe either. Can't figure out.
Can
what
we
happened.
can we talk about the two rookies that we were most excited for?
Yeah, I mean, Chastain was.
Me and Jacob had talked about it. Like, we called each other. We talked to him. Like, damn, Chastain's not doing well. And then we hung up and
Chastain-
looked up, and we were like, what
He
the
come
fuck?
alive. He
Yeah,
come.
we were
alive.
like-
he did.
Wait a second. Chastain's like 14th right now. Yeah.
Chastain and Bubba are mirror imaged right now, in my opinion. Briscoe, Bubba, and Chastain, I think, are all three just sitting in the same exact little kiddie pool.
Really?
I
See,
do.
I don't know. I want to give it a few more races before I give them too much shit, because obviously Bubba's been in the Cup Series a few more years than both of those guys have. So
Right.
I think that's. I think I'm going to give him a little bit of time. Chastain's still learning. This is Chastain's first time in, like, honestly good tier equipment. Like,
Right,
just-
but he does have that experience.
He
Wait,
does.
what was it we found out? 35 races, right?
35 races
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
didn't finish a full season. I think that Briscoe, I don't know what happened to him. I heard he had some damage, so I'm assuming that he got hit or hit the wall, something like that, because he was 2 laps down at one point. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not crazy impressed with both of them right now. But Chastain, if I had to pick between the three, if you're saying they're all in the kiddie pool, I'm going to say Chastain has impressed me the most.
Mm-hmm. What about old Timmy? What happened with him?
He's starting park.
Is that what he did?
Yep.
Huh.
It was
Which
a
is some
starting park.
shit.
I thought that was illegal now
It
in
should
the
be.
charter system.
It should be illegal. That's why the charter system is a failed, absolute disaster. Just 100% a disaster. I
So
just hate it.
I'm gonna throw a take out. Okay, I got to give my hot take on something.
Is this going to be number 5?
We
Let's
might see it.
All
I
right.
don't think Stuart Haas is all that great. And let me explain why. Take Kevin Harvick out of the picture. What are they doing?
Well, I mean, I disagree cold-heartedly. I'm going to say that. I think that
It justified it.
I will justify it. All right. Now, Kevin Harvick is the best. That is 100% without a doubt. You could not put Kevin Harvick in. But Cole Custer also a really good racer. Eric Almirola, he is not.
Yeah, I'm not hating on the drivers. I'm talking equipment and where they're allocating their funds. I don't think Stuart Haas is all that great. I think they need to be a 2 or 3 car team.
Well, I can agree with that. I think that Stuart Haas has had a pretty rough season starting out, but I can't sit here and say that they're not good, because
All besides Harvick, because Harvick's had what? 4.64?
yeah, I
That's
mean,
what he's placed
and
these
he's
races,
definitely getting most of the purse. I mean,
Oh,
there's no
yeah.
doubt about that. I mean, he's Kevin Harvick. He's a champion, but I'll sit here and say it. I think that I think that Stuart Haas, when everything comes back to normal, I still think they're going to be a fucking army. I just can't see them not being a contender. And I am not a Stuart Haas guy. Now let me just point that out. Just because they're forward, I'm not just saying that, because I do not like Tony Stewart. Never did. I respect Tony Stewart, but just never was a big fan. And I never was a big fan of Kevin Harvick. I do like Briscoe and I do like Custer, but as far as teams, I mean, I would pick RCR before I would pick Stuart Haas. 100%. I just would. I'd pick Front Row Motorsports before I pick Stuart Haas. That's just flat out
So,
the truth.
Are we agreeing that's not a bad? I don't think that's a bad take. So
I don't think it's a bad take right now, but I think that give the season some time.
just step 4.
Just the 4.
Just step 4.
So
But wait, we've mentioned it, so I guess that is 5. That's 5 mentions of a bad take. So
yep.
Yeah.
So we moved to the end of the race. Tyler Reddick was coming, man.
Tyler Reddick was coming.
So with 16 laps left, William Byron had a 12-second lead on Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick ate into that. With 5 laps left, William Byron only had a 4-second lead.
Yep.
I think Tyler could have caught him if Martin Truex and Kyle Larson wouldn't have ran Tyler so hard.
Yeah, and let's also talk about Kyle Larson
Because nobody else is.
No one did. I'm a little confused. The dude finished
3rd.
5th.
I thought it was
Nope.
3rd.
No, Truex finished 3rd.
He finished 4th, right?
Yeah.
Pretty sure he finished 4th.
So Harvick was 5.
Yeah.
Where the fuck
Okay.
was the interview with Kyle Larson? Do you think that they're trying to keep him out of the camera because of what happened?
1,000,000% yes.
I think that's exactly what's going on. I think it's because of the. I'm not saying this just to say this. I think it's because they hype Bubba up, and Bubba is the face of the sport now. That they're just not showing Kyle Larson, because really you haven't seen much on Kyle Larson returning. You haven't seen the return of the 5 car. You haven't seen anything. So, I mean, he ran up front all night, and you just didn't hear anything about him. I mean, you didn't see him running the wall, which was weird. His car just wasn't there. He was having to run the bottom. I thought that was extremely weird. I think if Kyle Larson would have had a car that ran the top, I think he would have won the race. 100%. I think he would have won the race. But I mean, Tyler Reddick was the guy to beat at the end.
He was. And I think he just waited probably 10 laps too long to get going.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I just can't get by. Listen, I mean, NASCAR preached forgiveness and everything like that over the off season, especially with Kyle Larson, and they've kind of said what Kyle Larson has been going through and what he's been doing. Why can't we just let it go and move on? I mean, he's made the mistake. He acknowledged the mistake. He's done it what it is. I think it's too far. I think that the media needs to start showing him more, because I think that he could be just as big of a face of the sport as Bubba.
Right,
Because-
yeah, and for like a totally opposite reason.
Yeah,
Like, the reformed story. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do when Kyle Larson inevitably wins.
he's going to.
Yeah, Kyle Larson's gonna win this season. There's no question or doubt about that. I mean, he's ran consistent all year so far. But I do agree. I think it's a little frustrating that if NASCAR was gonna grant him a spot back into the sport, then he doesn't need to be blacklisted from interviews.
Exactly. And they didn't give him one bit of screen time, and he was a top contender. Now, if that would have been, let's just say that would have been Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott finishing 4th, there would have been a camera in their face so fast it would have made their head spin. But
Oh yeah, before the winner even gets out, they're already asking questions.
yeah. But not with Kyle Larson. And Kyle Larson has came back. I will say this, Kyle Larson has been impressive since he's came back. I feel like we are seeing a more reserved Kyle Larson than we ever had before. Because if you remember Kyle Larson in the 42 car, it seemed like he was just always so aggressive, and he would always take himself out of the race. He was his own worst enemy. And now we're seeing Kyle Larson kind of reserved, it seems like. It seems like he's being more patient. And I think
It's like, yeah, I think everything that happened matured him a lot,
Yeah.
put a lot of things into perspective for him. Like I said, my biggest gripe with it all is if NASCAR said, okay, you're welcome back into the sport, then he should be getting the same type of coverage as other drivers out there. No more or no less than anybody else. But I mean, nobody's interviewing Cody Ware after the end of a race.
Nope.
Nobody's interviewing Josh Bilicki. I mean, nobody's interviewing Eric Almirola because those guys don't run in the top 5 consistently. But since he's been back,
So what we're saying is he might not even get interviewed if like.
Well, if he wins a race, he'll have to.
I mean, like if
Around
like
that.
say he got top 2, but like it was by like the point ... middle second thing. Would he get interviewed then, or do you think he wouldn't?
I think that forces a risk to where he has to be.
It has to be. I think they're trying to easily ease him back into the sport. That shouldn't be the case. He should be getting just as much interviews and just as much, because I'm genuinely excited about him being back. I am. I like the way he handled what he did. He didn't make excuses. He owned up to it. It happened, and you can't take something back. You know, he owned up to making the mistake. But I feel like if they're going to, like you said, they're going to accept him back, put him in a top tier Hendrick car with the legendary number 5, then they better be fucking talking about him. That's just 100%.
I think I only heard his name mentioned once tonight.
Yeah.
For how he was running.
It's obviously notable. Like, you can't not watch that race and say, hey, they're giving him just as much equal opportunity, because they're not. I seen them talking about Bubba more than I did Kyle Larson.
That's something I was actually about to bring up. I'm really glad that they didn't talk about Bubba a whole lot tonight. They laid off of Bubba 99% tonight.
They did. I think we should talk about the winner a little bit at least. William Byron won the race at Homestead. He is actually a 2-time winner. He has actually won on a track that is not a super speedway now. Now, let me ask this. Does that make Alex Bowman the weak link at Hendrick now?
No.
Why not?
I just don't. I mean, he did run well. I mean, Bowman, he went from the bottom to the top. But I still think Bowman is a better driver overall. I mean, Bowman just been unlucky this season. And Byron just got lucky this one race. I mean, he raced well. He deserves to win 100%, but I still think Bowman. I mean, if Byron wins another race like the way he did tonight, then I'll say it. But like as of right now, I still think Bowman's probably the better than Byron.
So you still think that Bowman is better than Byron? All right, what's everybody else think? Because we've had this conversation before, and I believe all of us said Bowman.
I'm still all in on Bowman. I still think Willie B is the weakest link. I think Bowman reminds me a lot of Jimmy Johnson in a sense. Like Jimmy won a few races early in his career, but it took Jimmy a couple of years to come out on fire. I think Bowman's going to have that same trajectory. I think 3 or 4 years from now, Bowman's going to be a consistent championship competitor. I think Bowman's just got to get the new team in order. They got to get all that stuff figured out over there. Bowman's going to win 2 races this season.
So you're saying Bowman has a chance at winning 2 races?
At a minimum, yeah.
Cooper,
Bowman's been in the series since 2016?
Yeah. I mean, he's raced. He's finishing every single position that there is.
Yeah.
From first to last.
Bowman is more conservative than Willie B.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it in the Clash. He was running way too fucking hard at the Clash. And tonight, I mean, he ran pretty damn hard, but Bowman's more consistent than him. I don't know that either one's a weak link, but
you got to pick one out of the 4 at Hendrick to be the weakling, and clearly it's not Chase or
Chase
Kyle
Elliott.
Larson. Yeah,
Chase
okay.
Elliott. Chase Elliott. Weak. He's just weak as shit. Like, just ain't it. I'm just fucking with you. I don't know. I guess Byron. Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and say this. I'm a little worried that the curse of the 48 has grabbed Bowman, and I'm gonna explain that.
Please do.
So, the 48 is a championship number. There's no doubt about that. But
now let's keep in mind that Bowman was taken out at lap 15 of the 500.
He was taken out of this lap 15. But here's what I'm going to say. I think the crew chief change of William Byron tonight that they were talking about, and the team change might change my decision. It's not changed yet. I've not officially changed, but I like the way that Byron looked tonight. And I have never been on a Byron train ever. I've always said that Byron's probably the weakest link, but I'm going to see how it plays out this season. I'm not sure yet. I still think that Byron is, but Bowman is. I'm afraid that the curse of the 48 has grabbed Alex Bowman. And the reason I'm saying that is because we saw for the last 2 years, Jimmy Johnson just could not find success. And that could have been a situation we talked about with, Kyle Busch. We're talking about Kyle Busch being with no money put into the cart. I mean, he could be the one that they're trying to fade out. And I think maybe that's still the case. Maybe Chase is getting most of the money now. He's getting most of the pocket. Kyle Larson's getting that money. Kyle Larson, Kyle Larson's getting that money. And that, which is funny because he's running Hendrick sponsored cars every week. You know what I mean? So, and then we know, of course, that, Alex Bowman's got Ally, and then, and Jeff Gordon, you heard William Byron tonight. He talked about Jeff Gordon owning, helping him out, owning the car. So I'm just not sure yet, but I think we do need to talk about McDowell before we go to McDowell. I do have a question that came to mind. Do you think if a driver has established himself in a certain number car, and they leave that car, like retire, like Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Richard Petty, children like Pearson, do you think the next person that comes in that car is automatically cursed? No, I don't think that. I thought you were getting ready to ask me if that number should exist. I was like, well, how many fucking numbers would we have out there? We'd be running like 102, 103, like NASCAR Thunder 2003 bullshit with the custom cars. You get custom cars out there and they would only let you pick from like 101 up. And I'm like, what the hell?
2003, baby.
I mean, no, I don't think that. I think there is curses with vehicles. I do. I believe wholeheartedly in the curse of the 28. I've always called it the black curse. The 28 Texaco Havoline car. I mean, you look at that car. That car was always such a strong car. It was always a competitor. But good Lord, if you strapped in that car, you were going to get hurt. That was just, everybody that strapped into that car got hurt or got hurt after. And I mean that as a cold. It's just a cold hard seriousness. And I'm not saying that this is a joke because Kenny Irwin Jr., he died after the 28 car. But I mean, look, Davey Allison, Dale Jarrett was in the car. Dale Jarrett's the only one that really kind of surpassed. But then you had Ernie Irvin, Kenny Irwin Jr., Ricky Rudd did okay. But even then, it was just a cursed number, in my opinion. I just truly think that.
Do you think there's maybe because you had Richard Petty's 43, no one's after Richard Petty left, no one's been I mean, you had people who have done better things outside of the 43.
Well, the decline with the 43 car happened while Richard Petty was in it. That's my take on that. He wasn't performing in it when he stepped out, when he was in that Pontiac. They lost that cash. I think that's just an ongoing thing. But
I mean, I think we saw.
You have to pee because I'll wait for it now if you have to go pee.
We could take a quick message from our sponsor.
Yeah.
Right. This. Are you having trouble with?
Thank you.
Okay.
Are you having trouble with? Are you having trouble performing in bed?
Okay, Parv. I don't know what you're on. You're on some Martin Viagra shit.
We're not sponsored by them. Come on down to Big Billy's Repo Outlet.
I was just saying, just take some penis large pills. Maybe that'll help you.
Jesus.
Oh,
okay.
no.
I don't think I need that, but fair enough.
What's the number for that?
1-833-6969 and a bunch of other 69s.
I mean, do you see what I'm saying though about the Bowman ordeal?
Yeah. No, I agree. Now I do think with Brad's free agency coming up and Ally wanting Brad Keselowski, Bowman better do something.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because Bowman knows, but I mean, Alex Bowman has won. He has performed pretty decent. You know, we've seen him perform. I wouldn't say he's the strong suited driver at Hendrick, but you know,
I mean, in all reality, though, Hendrick has one guy, and I mean that's all there is to it.
oh
No,
yeah,
Larson will get his, but at the end of the day, that number 9 car is Hendrick's golden child.
oh, it's his baby. It's
And I
his
mean,
baby.
for a good reason. You can hate him or you can love him. It's up to you. But at the end of the day, the man's a champion. He's a bona fide winner. And I mean, he has taken the series by storm.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, let's talk about McDowell. We got to get through a couple more things before we end this one. Michael McDowell, third straight top 10. What are we thinking?
Once again, I am not a Michael McDowell fan. Do I appreciate this man this season? 100%. Do I think he deserves the respect? 100%. You have used all 3 cars, Cody. So can we please get some acknowledgement that Michael McDowell looks good so far? Just a little bit.
Looks
You don't
good.
have to suck his ass.
No, does Michael McDowell look good?
Yes.
Sure. He
Okay,
looked
thank
good.
you.
He looked good crashing Brad. He looks good running top 10.
God.
But
Come on,
honestly,
man.
so here we go.
Canceled. You're fucking canceled.
You're a Kyle Busch fan, so you just
That's
sit there
6.
and just keep your mouth shut there, buddy. Your
Once
guy
again.
cries in the fucking cockpit every single week.
That's a bad fucking take.
There's 7.
What is? The Kyle
Parv.
Busch cries in the cockpit?
Parv, mute yourself.
Yeah, that's not a bad take. We all
That
just
is
went
not
in
a
on your
bad
boy.
take, Parv.
Parv, mute.
Parv, you're fighting fire with fire.
Yeah. So listen, I mean, has Michael McDowell performed better than he has in his entire career so far this season? Yeah. I mean, these first 3 races, Michael McDowell has already surpassed his entire 14-year career in the series. But do I think that what was that little hand movement? Was that another bad take on your part, Parv?
No, this is 3 top 10s.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. That's
3 top 10s.
Yeah.
3 top 10s.
That's probably almost equivalent to the last 14 years of Michael McDowell's career, in all fairness. But I mean, that team, they won the 500. They got a whole lot of funding thrown at them real quick. Do I anticipate Michael McDowell being any sort of competitor when we get to the playoffs? No. Do I think Michael McDowell's going to be in the top 10 by mid-season? No. And at the rate we're going, Michael McDowell might not even lock himself into the playoffs off of his win alone. I mean, hell for we already have 3 different winners, 3 races in. But I mean, am I sold on Michael McDowell? Do I think Michael McDowell has matured or improved as a driver to the point to where I'm going to look at Michael McDowell and be like, okay, yeah, here's another top 10. Here's another even top 15. No, I mean, I think anybody, and this isn't a dig at Coop or Parv, but anybody who has watched races consistently over the last 10 years, everybody's like collectively shitting their pants seeing McDowell in the top 15. I mean, that's not a thing.
You know, and I said it when McDowell won the 500. I said we might have another Ryan Newman incident where we just didn't expect. I mean, I personally don't see McDowell getting into the top 4. You know, I don't know. 100%
No.
But I mean, you never know. I mean, if he continues competing like this, you know, anything can happen. So,
but is he going to?
I think
But
he
look
will.
at Dylan. Where the fuck is Dylan come from? Why is, like,
Well, this year, I mean, I talked about it a little bit before. I mean, I feel like we're back in the 90s or the early 2000s. You know, we're having different winners we have not seen before. You know what I mean? We got 3 different winners so far this year. Last year, it was the same 4 guys winning every damn race.
does
And
Garrett
I think
Smith get a
we
win
had-
this year?
Hell no. Hell
Quinn
no.
Hal.
What the fuck? No.
Yeah, Quinn Half.
Yeah.
I think last season, was it 9 different winners?
Yeah, we had 9 different winners. And I mean, if you go, actually, just the other day, I was looking at the 2002 season and the winners, and there was different names all down the board. I mean, just all down the board. And I feel like we're getting back into that. I really do. And,
I think if that happens and that stays consistent, I think NASCAR needs to kill the playoffs.
100%. If it goes back to that, we need to kill the playoffs. I can get behind that. I'm honestly fine with either. I'm not complaining about the playoffs right now, but I do think that Michael McDowell has whatever the funding that they got, it's working. You see him running, and he's running good, and he's had top 10 finishes, and I mean, we got short tracks coming up, and we have more road courses, and we got 3 more super speedways. So we actually have 4 more. Nashville's a super speedway. Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have 2 more Talladegas, 1 more Daytona, and a Nashville.
So I gotta ask
6
Cody,
more road courses.
What if we go to Atlanta and Michael McDowell wins?
Oh, that will be the shittiest drive home for summer. I'll tell you that.
I'm
He's gonna sit and be like
Yeah.
drinking a beer, and you're just like,
don't talk to me.
don't fucking say a word.
But,
Does she not like Michael McDowell?
No, she doesn't either. But it would just be a bad ride home for her having to deal with me.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So here is I kind of want to go with this like the top 10 for points right now because I think this would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, so number 10 at 95 is Brad. Number 9 with 96 is Martin Truex. At 8th with 97 is Kyle Larson. At 7th with 1 win and 99 points, Christopher Bell. At 6th, we have Kurt Busch with 104. 5th, we have Chase with 105.
Chase the Champ Elliott.
At number 5, we have Chase Elliott with 105. 4th place, we have Michael McDowell with 1 win and 106 points. 3rd, we have Joey Logano at 108. 2, we have Kevin Harvick with 119. And I think to probably no one's surprised because of how many, stages he's won. We have Denny Hamlin with 139 points.
And I mean, of course, Denny Hamlin's in front, but Michael McDowell is 4th place in points. Now, here's something that we talked about a little earlier, and I do want to bring it up. We've had drivers in the past that have not performed or done well until a certain moment in their career. And Cody, you brought one up. You mentioned Martin Truex Jr. I mentioned Dale Jarrett. Who was another one? You said Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, Harvick too.
Harvick. I mean, these guys have been running out there for years, and then finally it's just like they get a groove. Now, for Front Row Motorsports, we can look at it like this. They won the Daytona 500. This is the first chance they've ever had it competing.
Could it be because we don't have guys like you don't get your car to your spec that you want because there is no practice and qualifying?
I
Do you
mean,
think
Kyle
Michael
Busch-
can just go out and he's like,
Kyle Busch is the poster child for that. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah. Maybe. But Michael McDowell, obviously those guys at Front Row Motorsports, it's a smaller team. They could be sitting there and saying, hey, that might make them work twice as hard. You know what I mean?
Regardless, they figured something out.
They figured something out.
McDowell's with contenders up there where he places. So like he doesn't have to drift back too far and worry about building himself back up. Like he's stuck in someone's draft at all times.
Right. So
he kind of just stays in that groove.
Yeah.
Because earlier we were talking he was with Harvick and who was the other Ford he was stuck with? Joey.
Yeah. So
they just cruise together right there. Yeah.
If Michael McDowell has to start in 32nd, could he get back up there? We don't know. And we're not really going to see it a whole lot just because of the way that everything's set up.
Yeah. They're doing. Agree.
Yeah, because the tracks where he's going to be able to qualify are super speedway tracks. He knows how to qualify. He knows how to run at super speedways. I am not sold on Michael McDowell. I just genuinely, I'm not.
When will you be? Is there a certain point of the season that you might go, maybe?
If he can win on just an intermediate 1.5, I'll tip my hat. I think that's fair. 14 years in, if he can win at a 1.5, I'll tip my hat.
What if he comes back and wins Talladega?
I don't think no, because if he wins at Talladega, he'll be running the 500 car, which is a good car. But ultimately, no, because super speedways and road courses to me are, those guys who you never really see up there running up front always run up front at those courses. I mean, I love them for competition. Like, it's nice to see those guys who are never getting, camera time or anything like that up front. But I think the 1.5s, the 1 miles, even Bristol being the half mile, I think those are where you really see how great a driver is. I think Darlington is going to be a fantastic showing to see what kind of driver Michael McDowell actually is.
That's a
Yeah.
great. I
Yeah.
can see that.
Because we know at the dirt track he's not going to play side. There's no fucking way.
Maybe
That might
not.
fuck him. That might fuck him for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
I mean, he might
just
never
don't
get
know.
out of that groove. He might be stuck just 32nd place each race.
So to end the show, so we covered everything. We talked about this new segment that we want to do. Drivers to watch. The rules to it is it has to be an Xfinity, a lower series driver, Truck Series, Xfinity Series, or Cup Series rookie. That's the rules. You have to pick one. So we can go in any order. One's to watch.
Ty Gibbs wins the next time he's in that car, guaranteed.
Really?
Yep. I think the kid is a hell of a driver. And of course, he's going to have one fantastic piece of machinery under him. But I think Ty Gibbs, the next time he sets back in that 54 car, takes it back to victory lane.
Parv, who you got?
I mean, honestly, I also have Ty Gibbs.
That's not
Like-
a surprise.
I mean,
You said that like I was supposed to be like, oh my God, really?
no, I know. But I think Ty Gibbs, he showed himself pretty well at the Daytona Road Course. I think he'll win at least one more Xfinity Series race this year.
100% Cooper.
No love is put into this one. The next clean weathered race that we get, Deegan gets the top 10. Finishes top 10, I think. Clean weather.
I don't hate that.
Clean
hate that
weather.
either.
I don't if no fuckery happens, she'll get a top 10.
I can get behind that.
Next race. I mean, it could be this week. I don't know.
Brett Moffatt.
You're
I'm
all in
saying-
on Moffatt, aren't you?
Brett Moffatt
is,
will win
yeah.
a race by the end of the year, 110%. And I'm saying that because Our Motorsports is only in their second year of the Xfinity Series. They are. You saw him competing, and yeah, he rubbed the wall and flattened the tire. It happened, but I think that if Brett Moffatt can keep that momentum going and keep that car to top 10, we see how aggressive he is. He's extremely aggressive. He's hungry. He's hungry because Brett. I mean, we've seen Brett. He's a champion. He's a Truck Series champion. He won a championship in the Truck Series with Hattori Racing. You know, that was kind of like the Furniture Row ordeal of the Truck Series.
Right.
You know what I mean? So 100%, I think Brett Moffatt is the one to watch. I do find it something interesting though. None of us said a Cup Series driver.
You strictly said Xfinity
Yeah.
truck in the beginning.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
said
I
lower
picked-
series.
Yeah, you said
Yeah,
lower.
yeah, but I said you could pick a Cup Series rookie.
Oh.
I'm still sticking with Deegan.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not looking at any Cup Series rookies right now. That might be different
Not right
next
now.
week
Yeah. Mhm.
or the week after, but for right now, I'm not looking at anybody who has been in the Cup for less than 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah, see that's the thing. We're not picking any Cup Series drivers because they haven't proved themselves yet.
Right.
They just haven't.
Now, I'll
And-
tell you that one boy last night who ran that 23 unsponsored car, that boy can drive, let me tell you.
He can drive a fucking car, man. Let me tell you, he drove it. He drove it like a sumbitch. I'm all in on Moffatt. I really think Moffatt is a hell of a driver, and he's got a very nice mustache.
Is that what sells you on a driver?
Not really, but it adds points.
He just looks. He's like.
Because
"Fuck
I mean,
yeah."
I'm thinking like Blaney.
Oh, I mean, you know, I love the retro style. Yeah.
Now,
hell
now,
yeah.
do you like the Blaney just like traditional 90s mustache, or do you
I'll
like
take
the
Blaney
Blaney
anyway.
handlebar?
Anyway,
Even clean shaved?
Oh God, yeah.
He's
What
a
beautiful
cutie.
man. He is. What a beautiful man.
You know who's kind of cuter though?
Who?
Chase
You
the
said
Champ
Chase
Elliott.
Elliott?
Yeah, I'd
Oh
fucking
my
do it.
God. Yeah. Yeah. When he can grow a beard, that's when I'll say yeah.
here we are, 3 weeks in, and we're still hating on Chase Elliott.
He pissed me off, man. He pissed me off. And it's a good thing I didn't have. It's a good thing I wasn't betting on that race. Then.
Jacob, you need to just let a crash go and quit dwelling on it every single week of the podcast, okay?
Yeah, mute
What?
yourself. You fuck
Wait a
ass.
minute.
Yeah, you punk ass, mute yourself. You fuck. Yeah.
What the hell?
What happened at Daytona during the whole Speed Weeks ordeal? That's left behind. You need to just mature, grow up, and move on.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you for tuning
Cody.
to the episode this week. We'll see you next week for the Vegas outcome.
Yeah, Las Vegas. Oh,
We're
I just
going to
spilled my
Vegas,
water.
boys.
We got to get predictions in, boys. It's a
I
race.
Oh, it's early. It's
It is
early, ain't it?
We're recording on Sundays now, right after the race. Getting that. This was not a really action-packed race, so I think that's why the podcast wasn't as action-packed tonight. Because usually we're cussing each other out. But
Right.
who do we got for Vegas? Like, truthfully,
So I think what we should do, like who we said last week, we shouldn't say this week. It's like
Well-
say something, so just to say something different.
well, no, that's not the rules because I can pick the same person twice.
I mean, like, I don't.
I don't want to change my prediction just because I picked them last week too.
Yeah, I mean they can win multiple times.
Now,
Fine.
listen, if we were betting money or something like that, then I'm fine for that. Like if we're throwing
Yeah.
in a pool.
yeah,
But as far as just, I mean, if we want to start betting on drivers each week between the four of us, I'll run that all day long.
well,
But
okay, we got 3 series coming up, so I want a prediction for all 3 series because we do have Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and Cup Series. Now, Cody has been watching the Truck Series a lot more. I think he's very well versed. Cooper has also been watching the Truck Series a lot more. I think he's well versed. Parv, I think that I think that we got to pick. Start there. So Truck Series, who you all got?
I'll go first then. I
was
might
letting
get,
you.
I might get flamed for this one. I'm going Sauter.
Sauter.
Yeah.
You
I'd
and
get
Johnny
Sauter.
Sauter.
Yep.
I'd say
It's not a bad pick.
Rhodes. He's too fucking dominant, dude.
Rhodes has been
He's
dominant.
too
this year.
fucking dominant, dude.
I'm gonna put mine out there. Sheldon Creed.
That's
Okay.
not a bad one either.
Sheldon Creed. I think he's gonna get a win in Las Vegas. He's also been running some unmarked trucks this year. I'm all in on the unmarked this week, baby, except for the Cup Series.
I'm not against Deegan though.
Deegan could perform
Deegan
good.
could very well get a win.
Deegan could. I think she might have the best chance of getting the top 10. If I had to pick a secondary pick, it would be John Hunter Nemechek.
I like him dropping back down and focusing on the trucks.
I do. I
Agreed.
think that's a
Agreed.
good choice because
It's
Hey.
another hatred from Heat 5.
yeah.
But still, he is a damn good truck driver. I'll give him that.
But
Yeah,
I
so
think,
we got Sauter, Nemechek, and Sauter, Creed, and Rhodes.
Rhodes.
yeah. And Rhodes is not a bad pick at all. Parv, do you want to pick Sheldon Creed again just because it's all you know?
Yeah, I want to pick my boy who let me win the predictions last year.
All right, Xfinity Series, Las Vegas. Who you got?
Noah Gragson.
You think Noah's going to come back and get a win?
Yep. And I guarantee you, depending on where he starts, old David Starr might meet the wall too while Noah's headed to the front.
Can
That's
Reddick
bad.
run again this week?
I don't think he would.
I don't think he's running again this week. I'm also not sure when Ty's running again. I don't think Ty's running this week either.
Is
Damn,
Decker running this week?
Ooh.
Also not sure about that. The entries aren't in yet, so I have no clue.
Ah, damn. Maybe
I will go
maybe
ahead and
Cindric,
say Cindric.
maybe. Yeah, I'll say Cindric, I guess. I got to see who's in it this week. Not like it matters. I mean, if Ty Gibbs is in it, maybe. But yeah,
Riley Herbst.
Come back.
Riley Herbst.
okay. Okay.
I think that he will finally end the bad luck streak. I think this is a good chance for him.
As long as he doesn't get wrecked out, I
As long as
don't
he doesn't
hate
get
that
wrecked
pick.
out.
Same as Noah. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
hate your pick either, as long as he doesn't get wrecked out.
All right, big money boys, Cup Series.
No, Parv didn't pick.
I know. Go ahead, Parv. Who you got?
Ryan Sieg.
That's not a bad pick. We saw Ryan Sieg last year get into the playoffs, and he's in a Ford this year, and he's been running top tens.
Why
He didn't-
Sieg?
He didn't run too well yesterday, did he?
He got in
Top
the top
15?
10. He
Was
got-
it top 10 or top
He got in
15?
the top 10 at one point. Ryan Sieg is one of those guys that can pull it off.
Okay.
He's done it. He's done it.
But why
Okay.
Sieg? Like, what about him stood out to you, Parv?
He typed Xfinity and Sieg popped up as the first name, and he was like, Ryan Sieg.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, did you like the number? His
No.
name stand out? What was it?
Okay, so I scrolled through I just saw whoever won the race. I looked at the standings of what it was for Xfinity, and just scrolled through the list. I know if I said Toyota, y'all would be like, Parv go for Joe Gibbs. Oh my god! So I'm like, okay, who's not a Joe Gibbs driver that I can go for? And I saw that Ryan Sieg, and I'm like, that's a cool name. So I picked him.
I'll be honest. I'm going to take
no-
mine back.
What? Who you got?
Dinger.
Oh my God!
I'm
Did-
gonna
Aggressive as
throw
fuck.
up.
Aggressive as fuck.
Absolutely not.
Watch.
If anything, Cindric's going to put him in the wall for what happened at the road course.
Agreed. But still, I don't know. Dinger.
I mean, colleague racing. I about said Jed Burton. I'll be honest.
Mm.
I about said Jed Burton, but I'm not a colleague racing is not a bad pick. They are definitely. I see them. They have an RCR technical alliance, so they are running RCR engines. I do see RCR putting a Cup Series car full time in with the RCR technical alliance, kind of a furniture row 2311 type deal going on, and I see them being a competitor in the future, especially with the next gen car. But not a bad pick. I don't like Dinger, but it is what it is. All right, money. Parv, you better have a real answer this time.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Las Vegas. Parv, since you sucked at all lower series, you get to go first.
Kurt Busch.
That you think he's going to get his win at the hometown track?
I think so.
You think it's going to happen?
Kurt Busch has been really consistent, and I think I see him doing it for RCR, and I think at his home track he'll do it.
Just so I'm clear, I'm pretty sure Kurt Busch is winless at Las Vegas, right?
No, he won last year.
He won last year, so he did do it. You think he's
Yep.
going to get it done again? I forgot about that. You were correct.
Yes, I do think he will.
I don't
And it-
hate that. I
and
do
I
hate
thi-
it that you had to pick a Busch, but
I think that Kurt Busch will win Las Vegas, and he will stay in the points, and he will win another race this year. I don't know which one, but I think Kurt Busch will win another race this year.
all right. Cody?
Well, I'm kind of pissed because that was my pick too.
Oh, no.
So I'm gonna change
Agreed.
it.
Oh, you can't. You can't. If that's who you think, it's who you
God,
think.
I got to ride with Parv.
You got to. If it's who you
Ugh.
think, it's who you think.
Yeah, no, I think Kurt Busch goes back, rides the momentum from last year's win at Vegas. He was way too hype about that win. Kurt Busch has not shown that he's not a contender. He's been up there every single race so far this year. I think Kurt Busch wins.
Cooper?
Brad K.
Brad Keselowski.
Brad K. Finally.
You think Brad's going to get that double?
I don't
think so.
disagree.
I think so. He's needy as fuck. He wants it bad,
Yeah. Yeah.
really bad. So,
Yeah, he does.
and I'm not gonna hate him if he gets it done this week. I'm gonna put him back in the lineup.
All I say is if he's riding second and I'm in front of him, I'm going to make sure he doesn't get nowhere.
I think
near
it'll be a
my double.
Penske guy. It'll be Joey or Brad.
Well,
It'll be
I'm glad
Joey
you said
Brad.
that because Joey Logano going to Victory Lane, Las Vegas. He's doing it.
I'm not against either one of them.
Yeah. Joey Logano is going to Victory Lane. 100% he's going to Victory Lane.
Parv's throwing up right now.
Because he knows it's true. They're coming. They want it.
Penske boys are going to be good. If I had to pick a second, if I
I
had to
wouldn't
pick,
say Penske boys. Come on,
Hey,
Blaney's not gonna.
oh, okay.
Poor Blaney.
fair.
Poor
Fair enough.
Blaney.
If I had to pick a second
Dalton.
pick, do y'all want to
Sorry.
know who my secondary is?
Yeah, shut up, Parv.
Cody's going to love this.
Michael McDowell.
I think Bubba is going to get a top 5. Las Vegas.
I would love to see it. I really would love to see it.
The reason I'm saying that is because Toyota has something figured out at the 1.5 miles. I think Bubba will be a contender.
I hope.
Do you think he's got a buddy with him in the top 5?
Oh yeah, I think
You think
Toyota's.
Do you think
I
it's Denny?
I think all four. I think all four Toyotas. I think there will be 4 Toyotas running top 10 consistently.
Who's not then?
Not Chris Bell.
Really?
Not Kyle Busch. Maybe it's either one of the two. It's going to be one of the two. It's not. But yeah. But I think Joey's going to get the win. I don't think Bubba can do anything with Joey Las Vegas. Joey's been pretty strong there.
Yeah, Bubba's not. I don't think Bubba can contend with either of the Penske's. No hate, but they're hungry.
But
they need it.
Who won? Who won tonight out of last week?
I picked Reddick, so I guess technically I did, right?
Yeah,
I picked Harvick, I think.
I picked
him.
Larson.
I picked Hamlin, so I think I got last.
Yeah,
Who'd you pick, Jacob?
I picked Larson.
So we all 3 of us contended. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 of us contended. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't wrong.
So if we're keeping score, then I guess what we'll do is just whoever finishes the highest of our picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that puts me
Yeah.
1-0 going into week 4.
Yeah.
Had more
Fair enough.
luck with this pick than I did any of my bets.
Any of them.
Any.
All right, gents.
Shut up,
Ladies.
34.
Everybody else. Shout out to the McDowell dog.
Hey, Parv, where's Kyle Busch at in standings?
And that's it for everybody. I want to thank you all for joining us.
That is the end of the episode.
Tune in for our guest next week.
Me. Do we have a guest next week?
You better start
No, I'm just
scheduling
fucking
away.
with you.